Hey everybody, it's time for that next video in the DBQ series. This one's called, as it says right here, using documents and outside information as evidence. So we're talking about how to structure your use of evidence in your DBQ. This should be mostly a review, but it's never, this is the review unit, so that's a perfect time to review. All right, let's jump into it. So overall, as you use evidence, as you use documents as evidence, you want to do three things. You want to introduce the document. So you want to show which document you're using. You want to describe the document. You want to tell a little bit about the document and what you see or what you read. And then you want to explain how the document proves that you are right. Whatever that means, whatever you're arguing, show that you are right. Now you can do this in 3 sentences. You know, a lack of toleration can be seen in document 1. Document 1 shows blah, 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 blah. This proves a lack of toleration because blah, 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 blah. You could do it in 2 sentences. In document 1, it shows a lack of toleration as this person is blah, 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 blah. This shows that I'm right because of blah, 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 blah. So you can either do it in 3 sentences or 2 sentences, but you need those 3 things. Let's take a look. So in this example that I got off of the one of the more recent videos from AP, and you may have seen this already if you watched that video. If you did, good. Keep watching those videos. They're really good. So basically, this is the start of a paragraph. Looks like the first paragraph. It also includes a topic sentence, which I think is great. So that's why I chose to use this one as well. So it says, to begin, despite some advances for political stability, authorities in Europe were overall limited in practicing religious toleration in that they continued to persecute minority groups. And so this paragraph is going to focus on minority groups and the persecution of minority groups and how that illustrates a lack of toleration. For example, an etching shows an Anabaptist being led to her death in 1539. So that's document 1. They put in the document reference. I love that. Makes it really easy for the reader. But in this sentence, they introduce the document and they describe it. So let's move on and see how they explain that this proves they are right. This image exemplifies the lack of religious tolerance that continued against minority religious groups during the 16th century. Basically saying that this picture shows exactly what I'm saying. Therefore, because minority religious groups like Anabaptists are still being persecuted and killed, the degree to which European authorities exercise religious tolerance was very limited. And so again, stating that first sentence, this shows how minority religious groups are being persecuted, and then in this last sentence, they're saying this persecution basically amounts to religious intolerance. And so they introduce and describe the document, and then they prove that the document proves that they are right in the ensuing sentences. Now they use 2 sentences. You don't have to. 1 sentence would probably do, but they felt they needed 2. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so let's move on to outside evidence. In outside evidence, you don't have as much to do because you don't have to reference that doc. So you got to describe the evidence and you got to explain how that evidence proves that you were right. So essentially the same thing, you're just not referencing a document. Here's an example. So this person, this is the end of a paragraph for this person. So in the beginning of the paragraph, they used document 5, that segment from the Edict of Nantes. And so they decided to go ahead and add some evidence at the end of that using another politique, not Henry IV of Navarre, but instead Elizabeth I. So check this out. Limited religious toleration could be found in England under the rule of Elizabeth I at the same time. And so remember, Elizabeth doesn't have a document, so this is outside evidence. Though an Anglican, Elizabeth achieved a somewhat middle ground in England between Catholics and Protestants. And so illustrating this idea of religious toleration using another politique, which is fine, one that doesn't have a document, and so this counts as outside evidence. They describe what they're talking about, that religious toleration is in England under the rule of Elizabeth I, and then they go on to explain exactly what that means and how that proves that they are right. And so using outside evidence as basically another document, another piece of evidence, just no reference to a document. All right, so I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Email, Remind, Google Classroom, whatever works for you works best for me. and then we'll talk more as the week goes on and as the review goes on. Hope you all are doing well, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.